everyone. I am Nabila from Eunoia. In conjunction with World Suicide Prevention Day that will happen this Friday on 10 September, we will have a series of interviews where we will be talking about a condition called suicide. And with me today is Xiuli, a clinical psychologist from Eunoia, where she will share her insight on suicide. All right, so Xiuli, my first question for you, can you share with us what are the typical signs that may indicate one is at risk of self-harm or suicidal behavior?
Okay, Nabila. So one of the signs when someone is contemplating suicide is when he or she constantly talks about this unbearable pain that can only be relieved through death. Furthermore, a person who is suicidal might be expressing intense hopelessness about unpleasant situations that will never change for him or herself. Another point to note is that when a person suddenly shows calmness after going through periods of up and downs in his or her own moods, this could well be a sign that the person has decided to end their own life. One more pertinent sign to look out for when someone is thinking about suicide is when he or she talks about passive suicide behaviors. Typically, the person does not intend to actively kill themselves, but is always on the lookout for an opportunity to die. So some common phrases that we might hear is things like, if I'm walking down the street, I hope I get knocked down by a car. Or I hope that I get into a fatal accident that is caused by a reckless driver. So when we hear people talking about such things, we might want to take more notice and really ask them if they need any help or support. So these are some points when it comes to the signs of suicidal behaviors.
I see. From what you have shared, there are certain signs and symptoms that people who has suicidal behavior might display or might show that we should take note of. So my next question for you is that, what if they notice those signs are on them? What should they do, or how should they reach out?
Okay, that's a really good question, Nabila. So for those of us, if you feel like you may be suicidal or having suicidal thoughts, one of my recommendations is that you may want to just talk to somebody who you can trust and feel safe with. This might be a family member, a close friend, a mentor, or even someone at work. So it's okay to reach out for people that may not be in your usual social circle. Another thing that you can do if you're feeling suicidal is that you can call a helpline for support, especially if you feel uncomfortable talking about your feelings to those who are close to you. At the end of the day, I would strongly suggest for you to reach out to a mental health professional so that you can work on those underlying issues that may be causing your distress. So these are some of the ways that you can actually reach out for support when you feel suicidal or thinking of self-harm behaviors.
Just now you just shared what they can do if they notice the signs are on themselves. How about what if they notice the signs and symptoms are on their family or friends? How can they help them?
All right, that's another good question. And I think that if there is someone you know that may be at risk for suicide, the first thing you need to do is to keep calm. Maintain a very neutral attitude and be kind to the person in front of you. Check in with the person whether he or she is thinking about suicide and whether he or she has a plan in mind. Next, you will want to offer your listening ear. Encourage the person to express his or her feelings openly and the struggles that he or she might be facing. This can help you better determine the most appropriate help that is needed for the person. And finally, when the person has calmed down, encourage him or her to seek professional help. You may offer to accompany him or her for the initial appointment if he or she feels fearful or uncomfortable to do so alone. So these are some of the better ways that you can support someone who may be suicidal.
All right. Thank you so much, Xiuli, for your sharing. I believe that not just me, but also who's watching this video also learn so much from you. And we're already reaching the end of the video. So before that, do you have any closing thought regarding this topic that you would like to share with us?
I think what is important when we're talking about suicide is to know that we are never alone. And all we need to do is reach out, and we will be able to get the help we need to go through our issues. So definitely, if you're feeling down, or you may be having some thoughts about harming yourself, do reach out to the ones around you. And if not, you can always call a helpline.
All right. Once again, thank you so much, Xiuli. And to everyone who's watching this video, if you find this video helpful, do share with others and leave us a like or any comment on the comment box below. We love to hear it from you. All right. So thank you, everyone, and see you next time.